Listen, you're talking to a rugby player. A rugby player and a Marine, buddy. I've seen worse. We're good?
We're good.
All right. So thank you for tuning back in. This is part 2 to our kettlebell snatch series. And today, what are we going to teach them, Coach? We're going to teach them how to get the bell reoriented with a pull and a punch. We're going to talk about the freeze drill, and that's going to help us figure out the timing sequence of the pull and punch. And by the end of today's video, there'll be snatching one-handed, right? Doing one-handed snatches?
Yes, they will.
Fantastic. What else do we need to talk about?
That's about it.
Good stuff. Good. All right. Let's talk about the kettlebell snatch. When we're snatching a kettlebell, we're taking it from a bell down orientation, swinging it overhead, and somehow getting this kettlebell to, again, land over our head, bell down, without it smashing into our wrist. So we've got to reorient the kettlebell while it's traveling in its arc. We do that with a 2-step process that I call the pull and the punch. You pull the kettlebell and you punch through the kettlebell with an open hand, and that's how we're going to reorient this bell. What I mean by that simply, as the bell is coming up, you will pull on the bell to reorient it, then you'll punch through to meet it and get up overhead. In order to do that pull and punch, you've got to think pulling with the shoulder, now with the elbow. So it is not pulling the ripcord with the elbow, but rather with the hip and the shoulder. It's a quick pop. Quick pop. Initiate with the hip, execute with the shoulder with a loose elbow. Notice I'm not stiff arming it, I'm going in slow motion. Nice and loose, quick little pop. That is the pull. There'll be some interesting music in the background. Bear with me. All right, so this is our athlete. He's going to start swinging a kettlebell. So let's say the bell is now parallel to the ground, and it's time for him to pull. So this bell just traveled this arc, this perfect 180-degree arc. His arm is the pendulum. The bell is now parallel. So he's going to yank that shoulder back. When he yanks that shoulder back, the kettlebell is going to become disoriented. So he's going to reorient the direction of the kettlebell. So if you were to watch that kettlebell travel, that pull brings the kettlebell out of its path. He then must, or she must, punch the kettlebell. Once it's reoriented, must punch the kettlebell with its arm back into the arc of travel so it finishes. So that pull and punch is just a little like blip on the radar screen before it joins back up again. And the athlete's arm ends up overhead with a kettlebell that is flipped over and resting on the back of the forearm. And that clears it up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready?
Let's go.
All right. So we're going to do the pull and punch drill. And we're going to combine that with the freeze drill so you get a good understanding of what's happening. We just explained what the pull and punch does. I'm going to show you what that looks like now. You want to dump from the side, right?
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to pull and punch from the side. In addition to punching, I'm going to freeze. I'm going to hold that kettlebell. The pull reorients the kettlebell. The punch through, I just spit all over the place. The punch through allows the kettlebell to come back and land softly on my wrist, and I'm going to freeze right there to practice that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I've got to make sure the pull and the punch are properly proportioned. The punch is harder than the pull, and that is what is turning that kettlebell over. That makes sense?
That's great.
Awesome. We're good?
We're good.
All right, so we just got done learning the freeze drill. To turn the freeze drill into a full kettlebell snatch, you're going to punch all the way through the arc and continue to extend your shoulder until the bell is directly over your midline. All right.
Go.
So, thank you for watching. That concludes the second video in our kettlebell snatch series. Tune in next week. We'll have our third and final installment of how to snatch kettlebells, where we will go over snatching double kettlebells and the dumping of the bell, how to recover that bell. Have a good night.